The gravel crunched under my boots as I approached my barn, the early Saturday sun barely breaking over the horizon. Fresh tire tracks scarred the dirt path, sharp and out of place. I'd moved out here to a quiet 10 acres just beyond the reach of Willow Creek's manicured lawns, to escape the chokehold of city rules. 2 years ago, I thought I'd won that fight. But the homeowners association from the neighboring subdivision had other ideas. My name's Ethan Caldwell. I own this land, free and clear, just outside the boundary of Willow Creek, a self-important community that acts like it owns the whole county. I'm not part of their HOA. Never signed a thing. Never agreed to their nonsense. But that didn't stop them from trying to rope me in. Leading the charge was Margaret Hensley, the HOA vice president, a woman with a sharp brunette bob and a glare that could curdle milk. 2 weeks back, Margaret showed up on my doorstep, clutching a glossy HOA pamphlet and a clipboard like she was delivering a court summons. "Your barn needs repainting," she snapped, skipping any pleasantries. "It's visible from our northern trail. It violates our aesthetic standards." I leaned against the doorframe, unimpressed. "I'm not in your neighborhood." She bristled. "It's within our visual radius. That makes it our business." I shut the door in her face. Now, standing in front of my barn, I froze. A sleek black SUV sat inside, doors wide open like it belonged there. My pulse ticked up. That car wasn't here last night. I stepped into the dim interior and saw her, Margaret, lounging in the driver's seat, scrolling her phone like she owned the place. I rapped on the window. She glanced up, rolled it down, and said, "Oh, I just needed shade while we cleaned the trail. It's not a big deal." "You're on my property," I said, voice flat. She waved me off. "Don't be so dramatic." The doors were open. No, they weren't. I turned, pulling the heavy barn doors shut behind me. The bolts slid into place with a satisfying clunk. Her eyes widened. "You can't do that," she shouted. "Open the doors." I snapped the padlock shut and leaned against the frame. "Call the sheriff if you've got a problem." She did. 20 minutes later, a county cruiser rolled up. I stood calm, arms crossed, as Margaret wailed from inside like she was starring in a hostage drama. Deputy Tom Grayson stepped out, eyeing the locked barn. "Morning, Ethan," he said, already sounding tired. "You holding someone captive?" "Nope," I replied. "Just a trespasser." Grayson knocked on the barn door, told Margaret to unlock her car and step out. She emerged, red-faced and furious. "He locked me in," she screeched. "I'm the HOA vice president." Grayson raised an eyebrow. "Ma'am, this is private property. Did you have permission to be here?" "The doors were open," she insisted. "That's not permission," Grayson said. "You're going in the cruiser. Trespassing." And just like that, Margaret Hensley, Willow Creek's HOA enforcer, was cuffed and loaded into the back of a squad car. I hadn't even finished my coffee. By Tuesday, I was elbow deep in a tractor engine when a certified letter arrived, stamped with Willow Creek's logo, 3 oaks, and a tacky fountain. I opened it after lunch, expecting an apology. Instead, it was a formal notice claiming my barn encroached 12 feet onto HOA-managed buffer land. A crude map, clearly traced from an old survey, showed a fake boundary slicing through my field. It was signed by Margaret's husband, Ronald Hensley, the HOA president. I drove to the county recorder's office and requested the latest plat maps. The clerk, a no-nonsense woman with a mug that read, "I file papers, not drama," handed me a folder. "Your property's unchanged," she said. "No easements, no updates. You're good." I made copies and noticed a flyer on the public board. Willow Creek's HOA was holding a town hall Thursday night. I marked my calendar. Thursday, I packed my old leather satchel with blueprints, title deeds, and the new maps. The town hall was in their clubhouse, a cold building with fake brick and flimsy walls. 30 residents sat in folding chairs, facing a table where the HOA board sat like a jury. Ronald presided, Margaret beside him, arms crossed tight. They didn't see me until Ronald banged a gavel and started. "We're addressing community border issues," he said. "An unauthorized structure is intruding on our buffer zone." I stepped forward. "You mean my barn?" My voice cut through the room. Ronald's jaw clenched. "You're not a resident, sir." "Exactly," I shot back. "Your claim's nonsense." I opened my satchel, spreading documents on the table. These are county records. Your map's fake. You're trying a land grab. Margaret leaned forward. We're protecting our community from visual blight. I'm protecting my land from your lies, I said. And your stunt last week? That's on record. Sheriff's report included. A man in a polo raised his hand. Wait, you're the guy whose barn she got arrested in? Yup, I said, turning to the crowd. She parked her SUV in my barn without permission. I locked the doors to keep my livestock safe. She called the sheriff. He arrested her. End of story. Murmurs spread. Ronald tried to steer the meeting, but I held up a paper. This is a petition for a cease and desist order against the HOA for harassment and false claims. I got a lawyer. Push me, and I'll sue. The room shifted. A woman with a toddler stood. They fined me for my dog barking at trail walkers. Said my fence was aggressive. An older man shook his head. They fined me for the wrong mulch color. My wife cried. Another woman stood. They cited me for a kayak by my dock. I live on the lake. Ronald banged the gavel. This is off topic. It's the point, I said. You're inventing authority you don't have. If you'll fake a map to steal land, what else will you do? A voice cut in from the door. This meeting's getting interesting. Deputy Grayson walked in, badge gleaming. Margaret paled. Grayson held up a folded paper. The county assessor got a call. Someone filed a fake boundary claim. That someone was you, Mr. Hensley. Ronald stammered. Grayson continued. Filing false land records is a crime. We're investigating. No contact with Mr. Caldwell, no claims on his property, no HOA letters. Clear. Ronald sank into his chair. Margaret looked like she wanted to disappear. After the meeting, 3 families approached me in the parking lot. A mechanic in a ball cap said, "Need a driveway poured? I'm your guy." A woman handed me a USB drive. My security cam caught Margaret heading to your barn that morning. Time-stamped. I nodded, grateful. The tide had turned. The next week, Willow Creek went quiet. No HOA patrols, no violation notices. But I wasn't naive. On Wednesday, I noticed my gate was unlatched, the padlock open. Inside the barn, storage bins were rummaged, my welding torch misplaced, and my ledger book missing. I installed trail cameras, one at the gate, one hidden in the barn. By Friday, I had footage. At 2:30 a.m., 2 flashlights crept down my drive. The grainy video showed Ronald, tall in a reflective vest, and Margaret, her stiff walk unmistakable. Ronald jimmied the lock. Margaret stood watch. They spent 20 minutes inside, snapping photos and pocketing papers. They left the gate open. I burned the footage to a disk and took it to Grayson. He watched it twice. Breaking and entering, he said. They took something. That's burglary. He called the prosecutor's office. By Monday, arrest warrants were out. Margaret was picked up walking her dog. Ronald was cuffed at his insurance office. Their mugshots hit the local news, sandwiched between a weather report and a lost dog story. Residents started talking. A dad posted online about an HOA fine for trampoline noise despite his fence yard. A nurse said they threatened to lean over a garden windmill. A former board member hinted at missing dues. Then Lisa Marrow, a resident, sent me a letter. She and her accountant brother had tracked HOA spending, uncovering thousands in fake trail maintenance charges tied to a defunct LLC under the Hensley's name. We took her evidence to the county auditor, who launched an inquiry. Willow Creek unraveled. An emergency HOA meeting flopped when only 2 board members showed. Residents demanded transparency. A civil engineer, Mark Tate, gave me a survey proving the HOA's buffer zone was a county-owned drainage easement. The city council ordered a county-wide HOA audit, starting with Willow Creek. The Hensley's court date came. Their lawyer claimed routine oversight, but the judge saw through it. Video evidence, stolen documents, and fake filings piled up. They got 18 months probation, 500 hours of community service, a permanent ban from HOA boards, and a $40,000 restitution order. I didn't attend. My barn still stood. That was enough. Then Grayson called. At the station, he showed me dashcam footage from a county truck. 3 months ago, the Hensleys planted a spike strip, puncturing the truck's tire to fake trail cleanup hours. It was part of a 2-year scam, staging hazards to bill the county. State charges followed, fraud, sabotage, falsifying reports. The Hensleys were arrested again. Their sold Willow Creek home, no escape. The community snapped. Residents voted unanimously to dissolve the HOA, hiring a consultant to unravel its contracts. Lisa led volunteers to digitize every record, exposing fake invoices and personal expenses. The Hensleys' patio furniture, billed as community seating, was spotted on Margaret's old social media. Then Curtis Lane, my Easter neighbor, proposed an agricultural co-op, gardens, chickens, no rules. We shook on it. By summer, kids painted garden beds, a mechanic fixed sprinklers, and someone donated goats. The land bloomed, free of HOA eyes. One evening, I walked my fence line and saw a new sign. No trespassing, no fines, no nonsense. Welcome to the neighborhood. I smiled and kept walking. The fight was over. My land was mine, and Willow Creek was finally a community, not a fiefdom. What do you think? Was I too harsh locking Margaret in? Should communities have HOAs at all? Drop your thoughts in the comments, especially on power abuses and standing up to injustice. Let's hear your take.